No? Hey, everyone.
Hello, hello, hello.
It's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
Yep.
It is a kind of a gloomy Wednesday here, actually, here in Texas.
It's still hot.
I mean, it's still hot, and it's still 100-something degrees. But
yeah, well,
it's
that
there.
is Monday was like all sun and with the heat index 109. So I'll take today at, let me see what my watch says, 95. So that means it's probably 100 with the heat index. Yep.
Ugh, still. Oh, hello.
Just hot.
All right. All right. Sorry, just making sure we're watching everything. I can keep an eye on questions for our
Yes.
viewers.
Yeah.
So while we are getting everything on, let's go ahead and I guess do a full-blown welcome. I got it. I got it. So welcome everybody to Linda's Lecture Quilters. We're here for our Wednesday YouTube Live. As you can see, we've kind of done it a little bit of a different time this week. So we want to go ahead and talk to you about that. But before we get started on the different times, make sure that you subscribe to our channel. So right down at the bottom right-hand corner,
Right down there.
you can click on that subscribe button.
Yep.
And then after you click on that subscribe, make sure that you click the little bell to turn on the notifications so you can get notified whenever we go live or whenever we post any of our educational videos.
Yeah, so that's actually a good time to show them how to do that on their phones. We get lots of questions on how to subscribe to the channel, how to be notified. So do you have that app pulled up?
Sure.
Right.
Let me go ahead and go over there and do that.
Okay.
So move these out of the way. So on your app, if you visit our Linda's Electric Quilters YouTube channel, this is what it's going to look like. So as you can see, I'm already subscribed, but if I was not, it would say subscribe. And you can tap on that, and then that bell will appear, and you can tap on that to open up the notifications. Diana, also while we're here, I want to talk to them about the community section on our YouTube app.
Okay.
Okay. So at the top, we're at home. So this is kind of showing you our overall view of the app, what our videos entail, and different things like that. If you want to see the full range of videos, you can tap on this little videos tab, and that will show you all the videos that we have.
Mm-hmm.
We also have playlists set aside for different products. So if you want to see different playlists, if you're a Statler owner, under my Cube section, that's where all of the Statler videos are for Creative Studio and different things like that. But right here, this little tab right here, it's new to us as well as it's new to many of you. It's Community. So if you tap on the Community tab, you can see that from here, we're going to start posting kind of just like Facebook. We can start posting photos of projects that we have finished when we started them on YouTube. A lot of people ask, I want to see what something looks like after you're done with it.
Yeah, they
And
do.
we can't post pictures in the comment section, but we can post on the community section.
Okay.
So here you can see, different things that we're going to start utilizing this a lot. You have the ability to give it a thumbs up, put comments on it. You can open up the photo and take a look at it to see what the final product was.
Super cool. Yeah,
So
I like that
back,
idea.
And then we can go back over to home.
Yeah, and go back over to home and show them, like, when they hit notify, what they might see next. So if you hit the notify button, does it send you and ask you if you want badges or anything, or no?
If you tap on the little bell, it will take you to a different part of your app. I guess I can turn them off and turn them back on.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. Maybe.
It's like, just because I want you to.
Yeah, just because you want me to, it's not going to. But it will take you to a different part of your app where you can allow those notifications to be turned on.
Yeah, so
you
if you're
can
not
return
getting,
back to the
if you're
YouTube
not
channel.
getting them,
Yeah.
you can put a little thing on there that's a badge,
Let
just
me
like
see if
any
I can
other notification that'll
see
pop
what's
up
up.
for Facebook or anything like that.
See if I can open up that. There it is. Okay, so when you tap on that bell for the first time, this is what's going to appear. This is for an iPhone and Apple user. I'm not sure what the Android side looks of it. But you can tap on notifications, and here you can slide them on to be notified multiple different ways.
Yeah, so you can choose your way if you want to do that.
Yep.
Cool.
And that's what we're back to looking at.
All righty.
Okay. Sorry, I think no, it's on. Okay, it's good. It paused for a second, but I think it's because I left the app. It paused
Oh.
mid through our different view.
All righty.
So,
can we turn the noise off that?
Oh, yes, I will turn it down a little bit. Excuse me. Okay.
It's
So-
like echoing, so
I
I hear us talking. So.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So anyway, so what we're doing today is we are doing some Q&A. We want to hear from you. We want you to ask us questions, and we're going to give you answers.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of spread the products on the table that we've talked about lately.
A montage.
So
of
it doesn't
stuff.
really have to be about this if you don't want, but this is just kind of like our little display.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely ask us questions. We also are excited that we have like only 53 more subscribers that we need to hit 10,000. So
I know.
yay!
We will have 10,000 of her 53 more subscribers, and then we can do our giveaway.
Yeah, we'll do a special giveaway during
Yes.
that time. So
Because we still have all those products in the
Yes.
back under lock and key.
We
just
do.
for you.
We're also excited to kind of announce that we're going to start doing some future videos, just like 2 to 5 minute segments on an item. So whether it's, you know, like a heat press batting or any of the items we carry online, we're just going to do like little short segments just to kind of give you an idea what the product is really quick. Those will be recorded videos, but you're still welcome to put comments there.
Right.
Yeah. And then we're kind of changing a little bit of our live.
Right. We're switching up a little bit the way that we do things going into lives and new videos. Like Diana said, we're going to do little 2 to 5 minute little tidbits. A lot of our online shoppers, which are you all, ask us requests of us via email, calls, different things like that you want to learn more about a product than just what we have written down on the website. So we're starting to do more videos for every product that we carry.
Yeah.
Besides fabric. Sorry, that's a lot of fabric videos.
Well, and it goes so fast.
Yeah,
too.
they go so fast. But just to show you more about, you know, what the thread is, what kind of brand it is, so you get a more in-depth feel of what you're getting before you purchase it, so you're very comfortable with your purchase.
Yeah, so
when
we
you
can
get
attach them to those products. So when you are
Correct.
shopping, you can kind of click it and watch that video.
Right.
Before we get started, though,
Uh-huh.
how many people have kids going back to school?
Okay, she went left. That was way different from where I was headed, but okay.
Well, it's because of I see my other son sitting over here. So Ryan, come here. Come here.
Little buddy.
So Ryan is actually, he's almost as tall as me. He is starting 9th grade. So he's going into 9th grade, freshman.
Mhm.
Are you excited about school starting tomorrow?
No,
Not really. Well, I, as a mom, am excited about school starting for him tomorrow. Not too excited about what time he has to get up. What time do you have to get up?
It's 7. Well, I have to get up at like 6:30.
You got to get up at 6 o'clock, buddy. Your bus comes at 6:30.
Oh, goodness. So he's getting up at 5:45.
So 5:45. See, can you imagine how fun that'll be for mom? Not. So how many of you have kids or grandkids that are going back to school, let's say high school, and what time do they have to start school? He has to like start, his first bell is at 7:20 a.m. School starts at 7:30 a.m., which is kind of crazy, which is why he has to get up so early. So just to kind of talk to each other, like, where are you from? And if you have a kid or a grandkid, just tell us. It's kind of interesting to find out from different locations, different states, different cities.
We have
Like,
people watching all over the world, so it's
yeah,
really
and
cool
different,
to see.
all over the world. Like, when is a normal start time? Is in your town everybody starts at the same time? In McKinney's, there's 3 different start times for each different grade level.
Okay, I thought it was a Q&A for them.
Okay,
to
now
talk
it
to
is.
us.
All right.
Now we're asking them about.
I know. Say bye.
Thank
Thanks,
you, Ryan.
Gotta embarrass the teenager, right? So, all right, now let's get started.
So anyway, with our videos, like I said, 2 to 5 minute little segments, but then we'll also be doing our lives, but we're going to be doing those once a month now instead of every or almost every Wednesday. So that way you have that kind of 1 month that one day in the month that you can kind of set aside where you can really get on and interact with us. We'll be doing a little bit of bigger giveaways since we've had all month to hold on to things, so we can do bigger giveaways as well. And that way it's a little bit easier for everybody all around. We'll also be doing a different start time. Instead of 3 p.m., we're going to be doing it 5 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yeah. I think it just gives a few more people to get home. It'll always still be hard for somebody in the world on the time zone they're in.
Right.
But we'll start it at 5. It's gonna. I think it'll be exciting. A good new time.
Yeah.
And going to once a month. You know, try to schedule. We'll have it scheduled on there at least a week in advance, so you know exactly which Wednesday, what we're going to show. Maybe it could be question marks, but schedule your time if you can, because we're going to be giving this stuff away all the way live. It'll be more of just a live giveaway at that point.
Correct.
Once a month.
Yeah. Well, so we'll be having little tiny talks about what we're showing, and then it'll just be giving stuff away.
Yeah,
That's
so
what we
fun
love to
stuff. If you are in the North Texas area, the North Texas Quilt Festival is coming up.
Yep.
So when is that going to be?
That is a couple of
August 22nd?
Yeah. So August 22nd
through 24th.
Through the 24th in Arlington, Texas. So we will be there.
Yeah, and it's at the Export Stadium Arlington, which used to be the Arlington Convention Center, which is how I remember it.
Yeah.
So we'll be there. So if you want to come check out a Gamo or just come say hi, just definitely stop by.
Cool.
All right, you guys start asking us questions. This is for you.
Oh, well, they've already started.
Oh, they have.
Yeah.
Okay.
So first one before we even got on.
Okay.
Because before we even start, you can kind of have pendings.
Yeah.
So we have a question from Ron
Okay.
stating, would you remind me what iron-on product you use to fuse the pieces of batting together?
Oh, perfect.
So whenever you're working with scraps of batting, because of course we always have some of those from a quilt that wasn't wide enough, or it was too wide, or I guess it wouldn't be too wide. Oh, I guess too wide, yeah, for sure. What this product's going to allow you to do, this is called heat press batting tape. And what this will allow you to do is it's kind of a strip, basically, that has an adhesive on one side.
Let me open it up.
I think I actually have one open in the back.
Well, I'll
Let me
just
go
show
grab
kind
while
of in
you're
the
doing
back. Okay.
So it's a strip that has an adhesive on one side that you can use an iron. So you'll lay that strip on to the two batting pieces, about halfway on, halfway off. And that way, whenever you put that iron on there, you can fuse those two pieces together and use it in a quilt. And I've used it in many quilts. And sometimes I'll double-side it. I'll do it on both sides of the batting.
Yeah, and it's nice because it comes in black and in white.
Yeah.
So you got a piece perfect.
Yeah. So if you feel the tape, there has more of a gritty side. That is the adhesive side. And the flat side is the side that's going to go up or down, depending on where you have it.
Yeah, so we do have a video on this. If you just search heat press batting, it'll show you exactly how to use it.
Perfect.
Any other questions?
Yes, we do. Keep going. Okay. A question from Mike was, why does the tension seem to change from cone to cone even when it's the same brand of thread?
That's a really good question.
I actually think I know.
Okay, go ahead. Let's see if you know.
It actually has to do with the winding process of the thread.
That's true.
As we have figured out, and as many of you know, if you shop with us online sometimes, let's say, for instance, and this is not a call out to a brand, but this is the one that's catty corner to my eye right here. With signature threads, sometimes you'll get one that's really fat and some that's really thin. They're both 3,000 yards.
Yeah.
The tighter it's wound, depending on what factory it was wound at, what warehouse it was wound at, can have an attempt. What's the word? Can have a...
Well, it's just going to be tighter. Some places will wind a little bit tighter. Some lots, it's not really much as a factory because a lot of them are at the same. They're at the same factory.
Yeah.
But it's going to be just a lot could have been wound tighter, but it is the same consistency, the same amount, 3,000 yards, 6,000 yards, whatever is on there. It's just some are wound tighter than the others, which is a good question also because we get questions on variegated. Why does a variegated spool look so different? And I'm going to grab that because we get that all the time.
This is a good question. We had someone in store today that had a question about that. When you're looking at variegated threads, sometimes it can be really not difficult, but it can be really interesting to tell what colors are on that variegated thread because of the way it's actually wound. Diana's going to show you an example of what is this, brights probably.
Yeah, and it's not just about what colors. It's some people think they got a spool that's not correct.
Right.
So these two are the same exact. So we have brights where one's wound like this, and then one is wound like that.
You got to use this one.
They're perfectly. Do you have a really? Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, that's a really big difference.
That's even much better. Thank you. That was actually really good. So this actually is the same thread. A lot of people look at it and go, I got the wrong thread. You did not get the wrong thread. So if you ever get variegated threads from anywhere and they look different, they're really the same. What you want to do is you look at the top.
It's the best way to gauge a variegation of a thread for any brand is to look at the top of the spool, not the side of it.
Correct. And you'll notice the tops look the same on here, which tells me it is the same color. So that's just kind of a good... FYI on that.
Yeah, a little tidbit of information.
Yeah,
there.
so thanks for bringing that up so we could go into that one.
Yeah. Let's see. What is another one that I've got? Gail is on her way to our store to visit us tomorrow. So it's a long trip, but we're worth it.
Yeah, thanks, Gail.
Let's see. Do you find the difference on tensions with a mega bobbin?
With the Magna Glides, maybe? Is that word?
Possibly.
Yeah, so we tested the Magna Glides, so I'm wondering if that's the same question.
Possibly.
If it's not, we'll talk about the Magna Glides.
Yeah.
So what do you think? You sew with the Magna Glides. Do you feel like the tension's a little bit different?
I don't say it's a little bit different. It really depends on what you're doing with your bobbin case. Like we showed in our video, I believe it was last week when we talked about the digital tension gauge a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
It all blends together. A couple weeks ago we talked about the tension gauge. It really comes down to your bobbin case, how you're taking care of your bobbin case. I don't see really a difference in tension. I see a little bit sometimes more of a consistent tension because that magnet's holding on, but
Yeah.
it's not. It at the end of the day, it really comes down to, is your bobbin case well maintained?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I had a lady come in the store the other day having issues with tension, and underneath the little lip, and I'll walk over here so we can see it.
Okay.
Underneath this little, can you hand me those tweezers, please? Perfect. Underneath this little lip right here that holds
Oh yeah. It
your
can
thread,
catch so much junk.
so much lint and gunk can be underneath that, which can cause your tension to be a nightmare. Say, I've cleaned all this, I've taken this out, I've taken this out. Underneath here, it can hold a lot of stuff. And so once I took all that out, she had a consistent tension.
Yeah.
She didn't have an issue.
Well, and Mike is saying he wasn't asking about the actual color cone to cone. He meant from the TOA gauge when it's the same brand. And I think you kind of answered that. It could be just check your bobbin case, make sure that everything is kind of cleaned up in around there. And if it is, could be when it was wound on your bobbin winder too.
Well, it's that, but also you got to think when it's coming off the bobbin winder. If you're doing standalone or even on your onboard bobbin winder, it still has the same effect because if it's tighter or more loose, it's going to come through the tension assembly on that bobbin winder different too.
Yeah, which is why we love the TOA gauges. Whether you use analog or just check each one.
Yeah, either one's always good.
Yeah, so that's because I don't think there's any way to 100% make everything consistent coming off the bobbin winder on each cone. They're all wound just a little bit differently.
Everyone's a little different, yeah.
So it's a great question, but our suggestion back would be just go ahead and just use that awesome gauge and check them and just kind of make sure. And that might be a good question we can ask the manufacturer, but that's just from doing this since 2001. They're different. Cones come different sizes. They still have the same amount. Some are wound tighter than the others, which makes a difference coming off the cone to go into that bobbin case, depending on how tight you have your tension on your bobbin winder. So this little gauge kind of made life a lot easier.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I want to say hi we have people from New Zealand. So you guys are up or early or late, and I don't know the time zone, but thanks for joining us.
You're so uncultured.
I know.
So uncultured.
Well, do you know?
Nope.
Okay,
Nope. Let's see. Marilyn says she's looking forward to meeting me at Bell next month. I'm looking forward to meeting you too. From Oregon, what causes threadiness on the back of a quilt when the top looks fine?
You know, that can be multiple things.
Right.
You know, we're not technicians. We need Darren in the middle to answer these questions, but he's really hard to get on the camera.
Well, he's out and about right now doing
Well,
his service calls, but yeah, being on the camera, period, no, it's not going to happen.
He would be our pro, but I mean, just from experience from what we've had, some of the times it has to do with the rotary check spring assembly. If your check spring, and this is going to be more for a Gamo, your check spring is not broken or not put in correctly on that assembly, that can sometimes cause some nest, but it could be anything. You know, there's so many different things you have to look at. Our most common thing is that we get calls about is my thread has broke, it keeps breaking, and 9 times out of 10 it's the needle. The needle just didn't get put in correctly. So anytime you change your needle, make sure it's clean up there in the needle bar and that you're pushing it up all the way before you tighten that screw down, and that it's facing the right direction.
Yeah, that's a big one.
In fact, here, why don't you show them?
Show them what? Because
we get this is so constant. This is really good. I love this. Which way it should show in the needle. My nails look bad.
Go ahead.
Look, I have awful nails today. I didn't prepare.
Okay.
So we are real here. Can you tell? All right. So I'm not sure if I can get any closer.
Right there is fine.
So right here where you see this kind of slit, you always hear stuff about the scarf, which is this right here. But it's hard to know, like front, back, things like that. So we always just say, if you can put your fingernail in the front of the machine, the slit's in the front, and you're in there straight, you've got your needle in right. So make sure it's up all the way. This is in the front, and you screw it down good.
Perfect. Okay. So awesome. Next question that I see here, how can you identify a bad check spring?
Well, it doesn't bounce back anymore.
Right.
Yeah, so like if I'm not getting any bounce on my check spring, if it's getting caught, it needs to be changed out.
Needs to be replaced if it's not there anymore.
If it's not there.
That's
happened
the most
to me
common.
once.
If it's just disappeared, it's sitting there on the quilt top while your machine's still going.
You see something that looks like
That's one of
a
the ways.
paper clip, that's your check spring, it's broken, it needs to be replaced. But generally it has to do if your bounce back is not good. So if you go down and push your check spring, make sure it's sitting at about 11 o'clock, you push it down and it doesn't bounce back really good, it probably needs to be replaced.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Another question was looking at how a bobbin is supposed to be placed into the bobbin case, at least for us, as a Gamo user. The question was, I've been told to put it in in a P or in a Q. The way Darren always tells us that it has to be basically, he says it in a number 9 fashion. So when you're placing it in the case, I'm trying to get that to focus better. Come on now. Maybe. There it goes. Okay. When we're placing it in the case, you'll want that thread coming down on the right-hand side looking like a number 9 when you're looking at it. So then it goes in the little slit
And this might
and
be,
then around.
can you see okay with the white? And this
Yeah.
is actually with the bobbin. Let's do
Okay.
that one with the bobbin.
So then this one with the bobbin, that it should be coming down like this, like a number 9.
Yeah, I always put it in that way so I can visually see that I have
Right.
like 9.
And when you're pulling that thread, the bobbin, when you're looking at the bobbin like this, it should be going clockwise. Just like that.
So Angel's asking, what is the extra screw on the bobbin case, I'm assuming, that everyone says do not touch?
Okay. So this screw right here, that is the screw that actually holds on
The tension
the
arm.
tension arm. So if you unscrew that, you will not have a tension arm, meaning you will not have tension on your bobbin.
Exactly.
So
It will come
they'll
off.
have a couple more issues.
And they're
um,
so tiny,
Yes.
you'll be hard to find it on the floor. It'll be very
Yeah,
hard to find it.
It would be hard to find it on that floor. So yeah, that is the one.
Double
There
click.
you go.
Okay. Looks like we have some. When using wool batting, do you use a glide foot? You can use any foot using wool batting, right?
Basically, using wool batting depends on how much wool batting. If you're just using one layer of it,
Yeah.
you normally don't have much of an issue. When we did the Dream Big tearaway patterns
Yeah.
live, and we did that on a
Domestic
machine, it was just a regular open toe foot that we used with one layer of wool. If you're starting to double up on layers, even 2 or 3,
Yeah.
I would look at some type of spoon foot, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Or a glide foot for certain brands. That way it goes over that wool easier to make it a little bit more simple for you.
Yeah. Anytime you can glide over your project easier without having the chance of catching threads or catching applique is better.
Right.
It's the same theory.
Yep.
So, let's see. Keep asking. Are you going to have a lower price on the Gamo at the shows? Sometimes at shows we do have show specials. They typically don't have lower prices on the machine, although
Right.
they just had a special. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's different. Every show is different, and we won't know the specials at the shows until like a day before the show.
Yeah.
So can't answer that one. Sorry.
Unfortunately.
Not yet.
Good question, though.
Yeah.
Question was, do you recommend pre-wound bobbins?
Whatever's easiest for you, whatever you like. I think
really, for that one, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's
Yeah.
not really a recommendation.
Yeah.
It's more of a personal preference.
Yeah.
I like both pre-wound Magna-Glide bobbins, and then I like winding my own bobbin. It just really just depends kind of actually what mood I'm in that day, whether or not I'm lazy, or if I want to. Lazy wasn't the right word. Me personally, or lazy where I don't want to wind my own. If I have the color already in a pre-wound bobbin that's going to match a thread, I'm going to go with that, so I don't have to sit at the bobbin winder. But it really ends up being a personal preference at the end of the day.
And really, in the ones that we carry, we'll speak on our pre-wounds. We just
Right.
carry the glide, so we're not going to use pre-wound unless we're using the glide.
Right.
So
right.
the glide, because glide with glide. So if we're using glide, then if it has a color we like. But if not, I actually like, Corey likes using both. I actually like the brown ones right here.
Mm-hmm.
And again, and it's all preference, but and there is a difference between these bobbins. So if you try to buy a bobbin like this, say on eBay, something like that, you're not getting the right bobbin. Make sure you're buying them from a Gamo dealer. If you have a Gamo machine, or if you use M-size bobbins, make sure you're buying them from an actual long arm dealer, so you're getting the good
Correct.
stuff.
Right.
Because that does make a huge difference in your
Yes.
bobbin.
Yes.
But another thing I was going to say is I can reuse these over and over again.
Mhm.
So actually the cost is just a little bit less
Right.
to use a regular bobbin.
Right.
So again, preference. You can have a bunch of these, reuse them over and over again. If I'm just doing a quick project with glide, then that's when I would use the Magna Glide. So yeah, either one.
Perfect.
What are you grabbing?
I'm grabbing a Kona thread for the next question.
Okay,
I just have
good.
to
Let's
have
keep
one
them
that's
coming.
open.
We love this.
So
We'll talk until our battery dies.
question question was, how do you know if your bobbin is wound too tight or too loose? From my experience, this is just me. From my experience, when it comes to too tight or too loose, if you, and this is kind of a variable thing depending on what kind of thread cone you have, because like we talked about previously, the tightness of the thread being wound has a lot of determine
Yeah.
and kind of where it goes.
Mhm.
But most of the time, the amount of pressure that I can put on this cone of thread and it kind of springs back a little bit.
Just a tad.
That's kind of the same amount of pressure you want when you press on that bobbin thread in the center there.
Yeah, so if I press on that bobbin thread and it gives in and it's
Yeah.
mushy, it's way too loose.
Right, yeah. You
That's-
don't want it to you can dig your whole finger in there. You want
Yeah.
it to have about the same spring back as the actual cone does. Like I said, not all threads are the same.
Yeah.
But most of the time, that's your good go-to, is feeling that
Yeah.
and kind of getting what that spring back is for that.
Okay, so we have another question here. It says, I placed my needle in at 530 position and have nearly eliminated thread breaks. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah. So, and she said that I use the small magnet to help determine the correct angle. So those the needle alignment
The
magnets
needle
that we
alignment
sell.
magnet, yeah. So
'Cause you can get that
between
angle.
you know the 5:30 or the 6 o'clock, you definitely want to, or this is 5:30, 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Right.
That's where you kind of want to be. So
Right.
yeah, no,
Mhm.
that's
that can
great.
help. That can help eliminate it because you have to think about sometimes it's the way the thread's coming through those thread guides.
Yeah, because
It's a little easier at a tad bit of an angle. Now you don't want to go too far.
no.
Otherwise, you're not going to be able to catch that
Well, and
perfect
some of the older
stitch.
machines have different thread guides too,
Correct.
so that's why it's good
Correct.
to stay in between there.
Yeah.
And then we had a question: are the quick chains feet being made again? And yes, they are being made again. They're just on back order. So
Okay. Just got the TOA analog tension gauge, and it has been a lifesaver. Love it because the bobbin tension is correct, and all I have to worry about is the top tension.
yay!
Yay!
No, we do
So,
love
yes,
that.
yeah,
And
for
we have really started enjoying this top one too, because it just helps with getting that idea of where I know I need to go back to. Like if I'm messing with my tension, or if I've had to change the check spring, that's been a question.
Yeah.
Or if my needles are or if I broke a needle
If
or
you
my
broke a
thread's
needle,
breaking,
yeah.
the way I can kind of just take the top tension theory out of it is just kind of gauge it. If it's at my 70, 80, whatever I said that thread was gauging at, then I know I'm not messing with that and I can check something else.
Right, yeah.
So it's like
So analog one is great. We still have a lot of people
Yes.
purchasing this
Oh,
one.
yeah.
We have a lot of people purchasing the digital bobbin and top one as well.
Yeah,
It's whatever one works
Yep.
best for you.
they're both good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, what else do we have? How many bobbin cases do you think it's good to have on hand?
2 for sure.
Yeah, I always like to have one in the machine and then one on standby just in case. Because if you drop your bobbin case on a hard floor, so
Yes.
wood floor, tile, concrete,
Yep.
it's going to bend your bobbin case.
Yeah,
i.e.
like right here.
i.e. it's going to warp it. And with that being said, it will not be a perfect circle anymore, and that will affect the tension. It's going to have a hard stop and start, stop and start, stop and start. And so always having that backup one on hand, because I guarantee you're going to drop it Saturday at 3:01 p.m.
I know, right?
It can't go out that day for you, so you can't get a new one in the mail. So it's always nice to have one on hand just in case.
Yeah, and how you can test, if you know after you've dropped it, the way you can test it is put a bobbin in. It doesn't have to be full, it can be empty. And then just go rotate it like that. And if I'm rotating really easily, my bobbin case is not bent. So that's a really good way to test that. Am I not close enough?
It's not that. You got to be more centered.
Oh, sorry.
There it is.
It's
Perfect.
hard when you're just throwing it. Anyway,
You're good.
so yeah, so do that. That's how you can test to see if your bobbin case has been bent, if you have a good bobbin in there, things like that. You just kind of willy like that.
I'm sorry, what was that? One more time?
Willy. So definitely have at least 2, but if you're using magnet glides, have 3. At least 3.
Yeah.
Because then they have that one preset.
Right.
Now, some people, if you're fortunate to be able to buy a few more, you can have one set for each of your threads, and then you don't have to do it. But if you do, if
you
you're
want
not,
to,
then you
but-
can just change your tension in your gauge.
Correct.
But we definitely do suggest one just for the magnet glides, and then have those other 2. So
Correct.
if you're using magnet glide, then you need 3 of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and show this dream, but we've still got questions about that. It is on the community section, but while we're waiting for a few more questions to come through,
Okay.
I want to show what the end all be all was. If y'all have seen the video, which I know many of you have, it was quite funny to watch Diana and I quilt on a domestic machine
Okay,
for the
let's
first
not
time.
even go there. And
I
don't,
think we should show her
I
little
don't-
one section.
no,
I feel
no,
like
we don't.
I feel like we should.
I was like, let's please
That
not
was the
do
best
that.
part of it. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic there, so you can grab that.
Okay.
So this is what it ended up looking like. The texture turned out really cool with that wool batting. And so we just used, this is the Slate Dream Big. And this was with a 3024, I believe that's what I wrote down on the community page. Omni, that it looked like, there's your feather. I see it. It's right there.
Oh, stop.
I feel like I should
It's
go
good.
show the camera.
No, I don't think you should. I think we're good.
But it was a really cool learning experience to figure out how to quilt on a domestic machine, and that you had the ability to.
It's a new feather. It's called the diet feather.
The diet feather.
Yeah, that's
Well,
how thin it is.
It's thin. It was really cool to see how the tearaway patterns that we have for them worked.
Yeah.
So we have the cardamom, the Aquarius, and the Vivaldi. And this one was the Vivaldi, and it just turned out really cool. Let's show the back of it.
Okay.
Now, it's a tone-on-tone fabric and thread, so you might not be able to see it perfectly, but the texture of it really turned out cool with that wool. I still need to get it bound, but y'all know I'm not a fast binder.
So what color thread do you use the most?
What color thread do I use the most?
Yeah, probably a blender, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, I use grays a lot because grays
Yeah.
are currently the new neutral. They really blend with anything.
Yeah.
They work really well.
Grays, silvers.
Yeah, so a lot of grays. That's probably one of our number one sellers.
Yeah.
Is all of our grays.
And all the brands.
Yeah,
Doesn't
in
matter
any
what
brands. Yeah,
brand.
it doesn't matter what brand
Gray
it
is what we run out of.
Yeah, it's
so.
one we're continuously ordering.
Reordering, yeah.
Okay, we're in the wrong spot.
And we're in the wrong spot.
I feel like I'm out of
Okay,
place.
so we have a
There we
question here. We won't keep everybody on forever. We know you guys want to eat and have other things you need to do today. But keep asking questions because even when we're not live, we'll go back in and answer the questions, manually through the keyboard.
Mhm.
But this is fun. I've really enjoyed this
Yeah,
Q&A, and I really hope that people
Showing
have
different
enjoyed it.
things.
And we'll have to do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be able to give more people notice so they can have more questions for us.
Right.
And we need to get a technician in the middle here, right? We're going to get Darren on the camera. We are.
Yes, you can ask your maintenance questions.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
From
I'm
the
ready
pro.
I'm ready for that. Okay. Another question was, how do you get the monopoly 100-weight thread to work well with your machine?
That's going to be you.
Yeah. So I've used Monopoly. I've also used Whisper Touch. So for those of you that are not familiar with the product, Monopoly and Whisper Touch, they are monofilament threads, so they're kind of invisible threads per
Correct.
se.
Yep.
Whisper Touch is a nylon thread, and Monopoly is a polyester thread. So it's really cool to have a monofilament polyester thread, excuse me. Getting it to work really well, I use it in the top and in the bobbin. That's just my personal preference. When I use it in the bobbin, I only fill the bobbin up 3/4 of the way full, because you fill it up all the way, sometimes it can unwind in that bobbin case and become a little bit you don't want that to unwind in that bobbin case and cause more issues than need be. And then on the top, I have had to loosen the tension just a hair. And that's for Gamo users in the middle of the machine, the
Auxiliary intermittent tension.
what she said, that one, with the blue disc. And so I did a little bit of unloosen on that, but other than that, I haven't had a huge issue with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it works well for any of them. I like both the monofilament threads.
Cool.
That we have.
Well, you know what? I think we've kept people on long enough.
Okay.
So, again, if you have any other questions, just go ahead and put that into the box, and we'll get those answered for you.
Into the box.
Into the box.
Into the box.
Into the comment section.
In the
Sorry.
comment section below.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We will start our new venture, our video-wise and our live-wise next week.
Yeah, and just remember,
Yes.
everything we just talked about that people asked us questions, we already have a video on this.
Yes.
So if you had a question on thread or gauge or needles, any of that stuff, just go into the little search thing, type it in, and it'll pull up the video. It's or look under the playlist under,
Yes.
I think it's under quilting supplies. Most of them are.
Some of them.
Anyway, so there's definitely a video already there for you, but we will be making, revising and making some new videos as well.
We sure will.
Okay?
Alrighty, so make sure that, like we said at the beginning, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up and share with your friends so we can keep gaining subscribers so y'all can keep getting more free stuff.
Sounds good.
Alrighty,
Thanks.
we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.